Hello and welcome back to SML Total Access. I am Prime Time 000, joined by Matt and Dan. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, we in the dog days of Madden and the dog remote. TA is back, and here we go, baby.
Yeah, it might be the last season, but TA takes no days off.
No days
That's
off,
right.
baby.
Unless Prime loses the Super Bowl. Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, moving on. First down on SML Total Access. Speaking of people maybe coming back, Bomber, D Muse. Yeah, he's still alive. Bomber, still alive. RD, still alive. Dump, still alive. Is this Madden 21? Is this Madden 22? I don't know, but these guys are back. What's your guys' thoughts on these guys? And is it legit? Is it fake? Are you happy? Are you sad? And yeah, we'll start with you guys.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna exclude Dump here. I need to see a little bit more. I know he's had a couple of forced wins there, and I think he's only won. I think he's only won 2 games. Maybe he just won his third versus Fig, so I'm not quite sold on Dump yet. RD is 100% back, but I think one thing we need to realize about RD, he took arguably, well, half of these are arguable. Two of the worst teams in Madden 23. And yeah, he hasn't done what we expect from RD, but he hasn't been absolutely awful. He's been consistently in the playoff hunt with these bad teams. And I know people, we're at this point where, well, if your team's bad, it's your fault. But these teams are really bad. And he's doing really well. He did lose to Dan, but then he avenged that loss and crushed him. And I'll talk more about RD later. Dom is back. Maybe the vacation, the time away from Madden kind of rejuvenated him. It's the last season, one last grind. He sees a weak QP. He knows Faz is going to take these forced losses. Maybe he can get the 1 seed. And I think Bomber is back. He's had a good cycle. As far as he has won a lot of games. I think for Bomber it's been a bad cycle, but he looks pretty sharp too. So I think outside of Dump, who I need to see a little bit more of, I think they're all back.
Yeah, I think what one of the things that's really disappointing, and we've talked about it before, but because of the blip, everything kind of got changed, and it was really hard to build teams, especially with the way that abilities and young players develop. So to what Matt was saying, really, I want to focus on RD because, man, yeah, we just played, and the second half was kind of a joke. We kind of laughed about it because some of Madden stuff, but the first half, he still was dominating me, playing really good, making really good decisions. RD's at his best when he's at that balance. He can run, and then you start cheating up, and then he hits you over the top, and he gets a nice pass rush. So I think RD is going to be a legit playoff force. Again, hopefully nothing. I know sometimes some things have come up, and he had to take some forced losses at the end, but I'm really excited about him. Bomber as well. I think we've all expected a little bit more from him, as Matt said, but he's got a really good team. That defense can put a lot of pressure on you from the inside with that inside stuff, and so I'm excited for him. I just wish this wasn't the last season because I think all these guys are now in what week, or maybe this is season 5 post blip. They're really into their groove of their team and what they want their team to be. Unfortunately, it's the summer, but I'm excited because I love seeing these guys kind of bring back some of the glory days.
Yeah, I think they're all back, and maybe they're playing at what they should have been. Even Dump, like, look, he's 5-1. I know he's taking some sim wins, but he's had some decent games this year, and he's also had a lot of moves. And these guys have all had their own personal stuff going on. So to see Dump back at 5-1, and this guy can make some noise in the playoffs too. But I'm really obviously Bomber, RD, great players. I'm looking at D Muse, and looking back at last cycle, Dom, he seemed like he always would get one or two crazy playoff wins, and it seemed like he was going to get it again to start this cycle when he, I guess post blip when he had the Cardinals and he beat QP in that crazy game, and he's just been quiet. He's just been kind of, as a player and maybe as a person, he's been kind of checked out. Maybe I don't know what it is, but to see Dom winning some games, beating some solid players. I mean, he beat Meats in a really good game. He's got Rowan coming up. Seeing Dom there, and a guy who I think can really make a run at the NFC, and QP is definitely down this year. Faz is beatable. I mean, look out! I might be predicting a Dom Super Bowl appearance this year. I'm that big of a believer in Dom right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I would say Meats was a solid win, but hey, to each his own, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Well,
like what you said. The NFC's been a two-horse race. It's been Faz and QP. Dom is the guy that can beat them. He can beat them both. So
yeah.
I like that pick.
So let's move on. We're going to talk a little bit about Madden 24, and then we'll go back to some other guys in Madden 23. Madden 24 trailer came out. The beta's out. Have you guys watched the trailer? Have you played the beta? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, so I haven't played the beta, but I never play a beta. I just don't really like playing a game that's going to go through a bunch of extra changes and all the ratings and stuff. I like to get it when it's, well, finished product is a rough statement, but you know what I mean. So I didn't play, but I did watch the trailer today, and man, again, every time we see these things, it's always comes with a little bit of a asterisk because we know what Madden can do. But let's just be positive right now. Let's just be optimistic, just because we all need a little bit of a boost, thinking, hey, they finally get this right. And there were some really really good things in that trailer, like the O-line blocking, the contested curl and slant routes, the thing that jumped out to me was actually fumble recoveries. I saw one where a guy sacked the quarterback, was laying on the ground, and in Madden 23, the quarterback and the guy would just lay there, and you'd have to wait 5 seconds for someone else to come get the ball. But in the trailer, the guy that got the sack actually got up and jumped on the ball. I mean, it was like, wow. So I am extremely optimistic. I think they figured out their blip issues since the last 3 months, 4 months. I think this could potentially be one of the best Mads coming. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I was going to go into this with one of two ways, and I chose to go the positive route too. Um, I am excited. They talked about the catch tackle system where in Madden 23 they made it so like when a receiver jumps for the ball, the DB gets special animations to try and knock it out. They've now changed that to where you can get those animations on all catches, not just when they're jumping. So slants across the middle and stuff. That's going to be really nice to get those swats and those hit sticks that you couldn't get those animations before. I liked it that it says players now have more control to defend curl routes, slants, and streaks with a variety of realistic outcomes. I'm excited to see how that works because now it's, if you call a certain defense and the other person calls a curl, it's an automatic completion, which I understand in football. It's a chess match and there's a counter to everything. But in Madden, you just couldn't. It's almost like you just had nothing you could do, no matter how good your defender was, Jalen Ramsey or the worst guy on your roster. It felt like they all reacted the same. I was also really excited about the fumble recoveries. The one I saw, Russell Wilson got sacked, and the ball was right next to him, and he reached out with one hand and scooped it up on the ground. He recovered his own fumble. I thought that was really super cool. Not something you've always seen. And the onside kicks, I've always thought, onside kicks now it's over, right? I've always thought, gosh, if I have to score twice and I don't have 3 timeouts, I've lost. Like I'm not even going to try and call my timeouts. I'm not going to get the onside. But now I can see you can actually do the pop-up kick. I'm a little bit concerned that maybe that's going to be a little overpowered. But again, I want to focus on the positive. And then the last thing I'll talk about, I liked in here, it was kind of hidden, but they mentioned that they did adjust the jump and the dive passes that we saw Mahomes and Josh Allen doing based on the beta feedback. I was really nervous when I first saw those. I thought, oh man, we just solved the rollout issue and now it's back. I'm glad they adjusted it already, and I'm excited to kind of see how that works out.
Yeah, for me, when I think about Madden 24, and I played a half a game of the beta. I played a half, and then I beat some guy online who actually talked with him on the mic, and he actually runs a sim league on the Xbox. But so we actually played a relatively clean game, and I watched some of the trailer too. I watch trailers. I don't analyze them too much. I felt that the game played very similar to Madden 23. And when you compare Madden 23 to Madden 22, I thought there was a big jump there with the free form, with just how the game played in general. Pass rush, especially early on, pass rush was pretty strong. Um, and I never thought the gameplay was that bad in Madden 23, to tell you the truth. I think this is one of the best. Madden 23 is one of the best game playing Maddens we've had of all time.
Yeah.
So to me, and everyone has their gripe. The blips aside, I know that's say what you want, but the whole blip thing is a total anomaly. Even last year, I know we blipped, but that was a freak thing. That was a one-off. Honestly, yeah. So this whole thing that happened this year, in my opinion, was 1 in a million, and I think EA's got it corrected because look, we haven't seen any games that have not counted. We obviously haven't heard or seen any other leagues blips. And the depth chart thing, they said they fixed that as well, coming up for next Madden, which is encouraging. I know that people get upset about the ability thing, and if EA hasn't corrected that, I'll look into some changes for that. But honestly, even having every player not being overpowered with abilities, I don't even think that's a bad thing necessarily, because I think that sometimes in the NFL there really are only a few key players who make differences. But we'll talk about that another day. Honestly, I'm encouraged about Madden 24 because I think the game played well for Madden 23. And I know there's always a rush of guys who hate Madden, but then are rushing to play the next Madden. I just ask that, hey, you're going to play the game, you're going to like it, you're going to hate it, and then you're going to like it again. So instead of spewing negativity, let's try to find a way to, if there is a problem with the game, how can we as a league come together and find a solution to a problem instead of just compounding negativity. Let's spend that energy to fixing problems. How, if possible, as a league. That's all I ask. So I'm excited. I really am excited. Um, Moving on. Maybe not something to be excited about. Maybe so. I don't know. Straw Blacks is a guy that a lot of people were hyping up heading into this his call up. He's been in the Super Bowl in the primer. He's won a lot of games in primer. He's made it to the SML, and he's been not maybe what a lot of people have said he was going to be. What's your guys' thoughts on Straw Black?
Yeah, before I talk about whether he's a disappointment or not, let me just hit you with some facts, and then the audience can also make a decision before I give my opinion. I don't remember when he came in, but let's run through the Jets' wins last season. Fins, two-step. The Dan win was a force loss, or a force win. Mike Gilbert, his wins this season. KJ, the win against Faz was a force win, and Gilbert. Nobody really on that list stands out as an impressive win for a guy who came in with a lot of hype. I think he won a primer Super Bowl. I mean, this guy was touted as the next big thing, better than AJ. This guy's gonna make a noise. He's not making any noise. I'm sorry, he's not winning games. I think he's a good player. I played him 3 or 4 times now, won them all, and he's a really good player. But it's just he doesn't make that play, right? When you play Prime, when you play Dan, when you play these good players, they make that play that separates them. He has not quite made that play. This isn't a great team. It's not a bad team. It's just not a great team. But the morale has reset itself. That was kind of my excuse for him last season. He inherited a bad team that had lost a lot of games. The morale was bad. He's got a fresh start, and he's only beat Gilbert and KJ at this point. He just got destroyed by Woods. I got to say, I expected better from Straw. I think he's been a disappointment.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of shocked by this, to be honest with you, because not only did he win some primer ball, I'm not sure what we
A
call
prime
it.
Barty. A prime Barty.
Prime Barty. Okay, I probably should know that since I'm an admin. But anyways,
I just came up with that.
Okay, cool. He is at least was in 3 of them, maybe 4. He might have even won 2. I can't even fully remember. I mean, he was always the top NFC guy over there, and so and I played him in a Super Bowl. I played him over there. He always gave me trouble. I thought it was just an absolute slam dunk. This guy's going to come in, make our division be the top division in the SML. He's going to be pushing playoffs. I just thought it was going to translate. So, when you go through that list, Matt, I mean, it's almost shocking to me. Like I would have lost money on the fact that if I was a bet man, if I was Monty, I would have probably lost, my lunch, my PJs. I would have lost, everything I had, because I would have put it on Strawbacks, and it's just not there yet. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I think this last season he's got a little bit to prove, because going into next cycle, I think he's got his spot. I'm not 100% sure if he's got locked in there yet, but assuming he does, people are going to be saying, "Oh well, who's Strawbacks? He's just another guy," and I think he's better than that.
Yeah, so I didn't know much about Straw Blacks coming in, so I listened to a lot of the noise. Doink was one of the guys saying, "Hey, this guy is going to make a difference." I know there's a lot of others. I think Bomber might have said it. Just a lot of people had said he was going to be great. And I'm like, well, we'll see. I consider myself just an elite evaluator of talent of Madden, by the way. So I watched 2 games of his, And I like Strawbacks. I think he is a genuine, really good guy. I've talked with him off air, on air. I think he's a great guy, but I think he had some unfair expectations put on him when entering this SML. And I've watched his games, and there's a few things he does, and I said this on another show, that show me that he's not what people think he is. I'll give one example, and this is going to sound weird, but there's about two or three other things just like this. I was watching a game, and he was throwing a pass to a receiver, and with how he caught the pass, how he handled his button icons a few times, it made me realize that his stick skills and his awareness of how to handle ball in air adjustments with receivers and things like that, it made me think that he was not on that upper echelon of user players, at least offensively. So yeah, I think he had some unfair expectations. I think he can get there. I think he's won a lot of games in primer. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he can develop. This Jets team maybe just doesn't suit his skills. And look, he's learning everybody. Everybody's his first game pretty much, and that's tough. I play him this season. I'm excited for that game. But again, I thought AJ was the next big thing, and I'm kind of sticking to that. I think AJ's the better player. AJ runs the ball well, picks holes well. I still think AJ is a better prospect than Strawblacks when it comes to playing Madden right now. And I'm gonna stick to that.
That's going to be a fun comparison, kind of a little bit like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady kind of thing.
Yeah.
Both guys coming in at the same time, have these expectations. I'm curious. I think I'm still a Strawback believer over AJ. I think both are good players, but I think I might take him. I would say over the remainder of this season and Madden 24. I think he's going to have more wins than AJ.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see.
Yeah. One thing I want to add though, Strawback's coming in here with all the success that Dan mentioned in primer. He's been a super good guy in chat, nice guy.
Yeah.
In DMs when I've played him, no complaining about Madden or EA or any of that stuff. So, GG, good job.
Wow.
Super nice guy. I'm a big fan of Strawblack as a person.
Hey, Matt, we groom him well in primer, okay? We groom him well down there, all right?
Wow.
I see that.
Yeah, I always respect a person who can take a loss on the chin and not complain like a baby when they lose. Moving on to fourth down to spread the love. Who you guys spreading your love on?
Yeah, I want to spread a guy that wasn't listed in the first down who should have been listed, because you look at all the teams, Dom and RD and Bomber and Dump, they're all 4-1, I think, maybe 5-1.
Yeah.
There's another guy out there that's kind of resurgent, and that's Klinke.
Okay.
I mean, Klinke's got these Houston Texans at 4-1. You talk about a bad team in a short cycle trying to rebuild. I mean, the Texans are just as bad as any team that was out there. And I don't know what his schedule's the rest of the summer. I don't know what the baby deal is with him and all that stuff. But, hey, I want to give my love to Klinke. Finally, another member of that TC club not named Q and Faz are doing something. It took a long time, but at least there is someone else in that club, and good job. Keep it up, Klinke.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to spread any guys, but I'm going to spread my love to Fig here. 1-5, tough cycle. Every tweet he puts out just makes me feel really bad. But hey, buddy, you've got a newborn baby, healthy wife, healthy mom. That's something to look forward to. That's something to hang your head on. You've got top 15 pick next cycle. With 15, if you have the top 15 pick in a Madden draft in the NFL, you're going to get not only a good team, but he's probably going to get a team that he wants. There aren't enough bad teams in the NFL that he's not going to get at once. So I'm going to spread my love to Fig. Hang in there, buddy. I know you take these losses really hard on yourself, but you've got a lot of good things going for you, both now and in your real life and then in your Madden life here coming up in a couple of months. So hang your head up, buddy.
That's good. I'm going to spread my love to, drumroll please, because I got to come up with somebody right now on the show. Keep drum rolling. I'm going to say, get this, Tiny Titan, 2-3. I stopped coaching him this year. I said, you know what? I'm going to pull back the coaching. He's lost a few games now, and I didn't stop coaching him to prove a point, but I wanted you guys to observe this yourselves, and then I wanted to put it out there. I hope he can get the season turned around. He's made some great strides. He has potential to be a really solid player, and he also, like Fig, I think, it gets a little emotional on wins and losses. And if he can find a way to channel that emotion into a good place, Tiny can get on a run here. I still believe in Tiny despite not coaching him actively.
Hey, Prime, be honest. Be honest. How hard was you to not say your own name when you were thinking of somebody?
Well, I
Come
thought
on.
about it.
When you're thinking about saying your own name, I know you were. I know
Well,
you're looking at undefeated record, only one in the SML right now undefeated, and you're like, who do I say? Who do I say? I'll just say myself.
I thought about it. I thought about saying back-to-back champion. Thought about saying the only undefeated team left, the most wins in this cycle right now, the best player, best modern player, and best classic player, but I didn't say any of that.
I appreciate the modesty, the
Thank you.
humbleness not to say your own name.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on. Matt, what's your Matt 5?
Yeah, let's go with the top 5 teams in the SML. Dan just spoiled it, but as who number 1 would be. But at number 5, I've got Bomber. So again, Bomber 4-1. Hey, he's been quiet this season. You know, he even mentioned in chat he's not to be feared in the Madden 24 draft, but solid wins. Doink. He's AJ's only loss. He just beat him 24-3. Very convincing win. His only loss is to Klinke. And with that said, I'll segue right into number 4 is Klinke. I like that Dan mentioned him. Klinke is another really good player who, again, took a really bad team. Now, he did take a really good team in Tampa. He doesn't really have much of an excuse during that stint, but his wins aren't totally impressive. Okay, he beat Colt, he beat Finns, he beat the Jags, which I thought was Bean for a second, but that was NYT. But he did beat Bomber. He did just lose a close one to Dump, who is excluded on this list because of the aforementioned force wins. But that's not a bad loss either. Dump's a really good player. At number 3, I've got Dom. Again, I think this guy is our only chance at a change of scenery in the NFC. He can beat both Faz and QP. He can beat him in the same playoff run. He doesn't need any luck to only play one of them. He's a great player. He's proved it time and time again. Again, not the greatest of wins. KJ, Royce, he does have the win over Rowan, and he's got the win over Meat. So those are 2 playoff teams, 2 good players, 2 good teams. Those are pretty solid wins. He did lose to Coop. I don't know if he played that game or not, but Dom's just got the history behind him. Great player. At number 2, I've got RD. I mean, this guy is a really good player. I play him obviously twice a season. He makes the right reads. He just hasn't quite made those 1 or 2 plays that he's used to making, whether that's Jordan Love or his bad secondary or whatever it might be. But he's got wins over Monty. He's got a dominant win over Dan. Now he did beat Biz recently, but again, as you're going to play guys like this where they have struggled, but those are the games the good players really win. You got to win them. He did lose it to Dan, but it was really close, 24-21. He might have missed a field goal in that game too, because I missed one week 1, and I think RD and I were talking about how the kick meter goes crazy.
He missed 2 of them.
Two of them. Okay, yep. So there's 6 points. Obviously, that's not apples and oranges there to make sure to say he would have won, but hey, he was in that game. He could very well be undefeated with 2 wins against Dan, so no slouch there. And then at number 1, hey, say what you want, but there's only one team that's undefeated in the league, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers. And if you want to say, oh, he probably hasn't played anybody, check again. Rowan beat him. Dan beat him. QP beat him. He does have wins over Coop, who at one point was like 2-0 or something like that. And then he did beat Two-Step as well. Those are 3 really quality wins. Dan and QP are Super Bowl contenders. I don't care what their record is 5 games into the season. And then Rowan is certainly no slouch. He's proved that he can be a good player, and he's like 20 years old, so he should be good. Yeah,
that's a good list. I think
good list. I respect it. I respect the list.
I respect Matt. A lot of new guys on the list. A lot of new guys. I think new guys being guys that we haven't seen for a while, I should say, on the list. Hey, I'm excited, man. Last season, there's a lot of guys who can freaking get on a run here, so we'll find out. 1 season to go, boys. Who you guys think is going to be the Super Bowl matchup real quick? I don't know if we'll probably have 1 or 2 more episodes before then, but what's your early season Super Bowl prediction?
I think it's going to be Prime and Dom.
Yep, Prime and Dom.
I hope so. 3-peat, baby. Let's go. Hey, guys, thanks for watching the SML Total Access. Until next time, have a great day. Stay safe, all that stuff. Go Chargers.